of the Week show coming up next hour right here. Stay with us. Tom Wheeler will be your host. Later on today, Gusties Knights College Football. Martin Luther College hosting the Gusties. We're at 10 o'clock. Good morning.
Goodbye, John McCain. I'm Christopher Cruz. The memorial service for Arizona Senator John McCain is now underway at the Washington National Cathedral. His daughter, Megan McCain, spoke eloquently and tearfully.
I am here before you today saying the words I have never wanted to say, giving the speech I have never wanted to give, feeling the loss I have never wanted to feel. My father is gone.
Megan McCain's words moved those who packed the cathedral.
We gather here to mourn the passing of American greatness. The real thing, not cheap rhetoric from men who will never come near the sacrifice he gave so willingly, nor the opportunistic appropriation of those who lived lives of comfort and privilege while he suffered and served. He was a great fire who burned bright.
Among the other speakers this morning, George W. Bush and Barack Obama. Before he died, McCain personally asked the former presidents to speak at the service. President Trump has sent 6 tweets this morning, some of them about his grievances with the Justice Department and the FBI, but none of them about Senator McCain.
Those are our news items. Player of the Week show. First one of the season is coming up after a look at our KNUJ forecast. Reporting on the KNUJ Newsline, I'm Amy Zentz.
Player of the Week show. It's brought to you by Riverview Sanitation, RVS Shredding, Scoreboard, Athletes of the Week and their coaches. The Player of the Week show. Here's KNUJ's Tom Wheeler.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our first edition of the Player of the Week show for the 18-19 sports season. Yeah, we are up and running. Player of the Week show, of course, brought to you in part by Riverview Sanitation and RVS Shredding, sponsoring again for the second year in a row. Thank you very much for that. And just a little bit here, we'll be meeting our athletes of the week. Our volleyball player, Lauren Paulson from MVL. Our offensive football player is Josh Sleda from Adelia. And our defensive football player is also from Adelia, and that's Nick Kloros. So those 3 athletes and their coaches are coming up here very shortly on the Player of the Week show, so don't stray too far. But as usual, we always find out what transpired last night on the local schedule, football scores, even some baseball in there as well, too. All that's coming up as the Player of the Week show is up and running here on AM 860 FM 97.3 KNUJ. 2-18. 9-man final. St. Mary's heads to Lisle last night. Picks a big win, 56-20. It was Hills Beaver Creek 28-6 win over Cedar Mountain Comfrey. Randolph defeats Buffalo Lake Hector Stewart 48-7. Also Grand Meadow 14-7 winner over Nicollet. Mabel Canton picks up win over Grenade Huntley East Chain Truman by the score of 30-16. And we'll learn more about this game coming up here shortly on the Player of the Week show. Lanesboro edging Medelia last night. Final score there was 12-7. And in the rematch, last year's section finals, which went down to the wire, won by Spring Grove last night again, too. Final was 56-12. And Mountain Lake, they advanced to the state last year. They come out and pound McRae by the score of 70-14. The opening week one of the high slate of games taking place today as well, too. Class C as well. They got a full slate of games taking place as well. Also some college football, too, but that'll be coming up here in just a little bit. All right. There's your scores. We'll take a break, come back, and we'll meet our first guest as the Player of the Week show continues here in a moment on KNUJ.
Less calories and fat, and oh so delicious. It's what every...
Clear 75 degrees. The Player of the Week show you heard here on KNUJ.
Excuse me, let's meet our defensive player of the week. One of 2 from Medelia. Our first one is going to be defense is what we're going to chat first. Nick Kloros is our guest. He's joined by the D coach, actually, Steve Willard, is going to join us right now. All right, Nick, thanks for coming to the show. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Fine, thanks. Nick, last week, they played a 0 week. That was a win over Grenada Huntley East Chain, Martin Luther Truman. We'll just put Martin Luther in there. 6 solos, 10 assists, plus he had a sack, and also 3 pass defends as well, too. Did you have a chance for an interception?
No, I did not.
No, just a knockdown?
Yeah.
Okay. And then they played last night as well, too. Actually, they moved it up in the afternoon because the weather was supposed to get bad. That was a 12-7 loss. He ended up with 6 solos, 4 assists, plus a sack, and a forced fumble. You didn't. Who recovered the fumble?
Our lineman, Dan Udy.
Did he recover the fumble?
Yeah.
So he couldn't pick it up and ramble at all, or no?
I mean, he might have had the chance to, but he just fell on it.
Okay, that was a loss. So we got 2 to talk about. Let's talk, before we talk about the 2 games, camp. Actually, Blackhawks returned a lot this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and how'd the 2 weeks of camp go?
I thought that they did really good. Our players from last year, we're all confident this year going in because we were like a young team last year, and this year going into it, we were all confident, so we were able to do what we wanted to do.
Did you guys do a lot of off-season work, I'm curious?
Yeah, we had 7-on-7. We had, I think, 8 weeks of that, 4 at MSU and 4 here in New Ulm. And then we had some youth camps and we had some team camps.
What's 7-on-7? What's that?
That's where there's no linemen. It's basically just a passing league.
Okay.
And so we had a bunch of those. We had, again, 8. And then the 4 in MSU. We did really good in MSU, and then we came to New Ulm, and I thought that we showed up and we were able to compete.
So it's just a passing thing then, right?
Yeah.
So is there any rushing or anything like that?
No.
So a quarterback just sits back there and looks and throws, and that's it?
He has 4 seconds to throw.
Oh, he's got 4 seconds.
Yeah,
okay.
And there's no rushing, no lineman. It's basically just passing, and it's 2-hand touch.
Okay. Oh, it's 2-hand touch?
Touch.
Above the waist or
anywhere?
Oh, okay. Okay. I remember those years. That's almost kind of fun.
Yeah, very fun.
Yeah, that's almost kind of fun. Do you actually, is it a timed event thing too, or do you have like running time or anything like that, or does it work?
15-minute matches? Yeah, 15-minute matches of like 3 matches.
Oh, okay. Very good. Well, anyway, so then you came in. You guys felt good coming into your first week, and how'd you play your first week?
I thought that I did really good. I'm new to the linebacker position this year. I was a corner last year, and so
why the switch?
Because one of our seniors last year was a linebacker, and he graduated, and so we have a lower classman who came up and was able to go to corner, and so they just put me at the linebacker spot. And so I thought that I was able to show up, so I really wanted to prove that I could play this linebacker spot because I know it's pretty tough. And so it was a big rivalry game, which also really fired up me and the team, and so I thought that we were able to do our jobs, and I thought I did a pretty good job.
Okay, so the switch, was it pretty easy then for you? Do you like it? Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, I really love this linebacker spot compared to this corner. It was pretty easy, but it's really different from the corner because there's a lot of blitz calls and you have to know the lineman calls too. But once you figure that out, I think that it's really easy and fun.
As a team, how'd the D play?
First week we did really good. We have a defensive saying, which is "do your job," and my teammates did their job, which allowed me to do my job. And so I think that we stepped up and really they didn't score any points in the second half, so we really stepped up.
All right, great. Was there still some things to work on though on the D side, right? After that first week.
Yeah, after the first week. We really can work on our pass coverage, though. But other than that, I think that our run game is really good, defending that. So other than that, I think that we're good.
Okay. Now, do you play some offense as well?
Yeah, wide receiver.
Okay. How'd the offense do with that? Well, you scored 32 points, so you did something right. But overall, how do you think the team did?
I think that we did really good. We have a returning player who wasn't able to play last year, Angel Zamora. And so we have a bunch of weapons on the offense. We have Logan Anderson. We have Josh Letta. We have me. We have a good line blocking, but they are kind of young. They're 2 players who didn't really play last year that are coming up. But our offense is really good. So I think that if we just really focus and just settle down and clear our heads, that we can be a really good team.
What happened last night?
It was really hot. The game did get moved from 7 to 5, and so that really, I feel like that kind of affected some of us. But after the first and second quarter, I mean, everybody was walking around. It was really hot. I mean, a bunch of the guys seemed like they weren't really hydrated enough, but it was just a really good game. Super close. We were leading 7 to 6, but we just couldn't come out in the second half. But we'll work on that.
Something that's going to be worked on?
Yeah.
Okay, a lot or a little?
A lot.
A lot?
Yeah.
Oh, so you already have a clue what's going to happen in practice on Monday?
Oh, yeah, I have an idea.
All right, Rushford, did they come out and show anything different? That they surprise you in any way or not?
No, I think that we knew what we were doing. I mean, most of the time, like, we stopped them on defense every single time. But we just couldn't step up because of the heat and stuff, and a bunch of guys were tired. And but no, we watched our film, we did our homework, we just didn't show up.
Okay. Would you guys have a chance to at least tie or come up with a win at all late?
Yeah, we had multiple chances. But, we just, we let some plays get in our head, and we should have just been able to clear our heads after those plays weren't made, but we had some chances.
Okay. Next week, where do you go?
Sleepy Eye St. Mary.
Okay, take on the Knights.
Yeah.
Should be a fun one, huh?
Yeah, should be.
You looking forward to it already?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I can kind of tell.
Yeah.
I can kind of tell. Bring in assistant D coach Steve Willard, talking a little bit about his defensive player. What makes him a good player, Coach?
He's very versatile. Like you said, last year he was at a cornerback spot, and we run kind of it's a 3-3 defense, and we like to kind of take it to the offense. We attack, we blitz a lot, and so Nick was able to come down from a corner to a linebacker. He was actually more of a cover linebacker to start in the summer. And then we had another kid kind of come back to our defense, and so we moved Nick to the strong side linebacker position. And if you look at him, he's not, some huge, stud, but he's very quick, he's athletic, he's versatile, and he's smart, and he picks things up really quick. So, that it makes him dangerous on defense because we can throw him around different spots, and he can, attack from any direction.
That first week, how do you think the D played? After with all these guys that you got coming back, did you like what you saw?
Yeah, I liked what I saw the first week. We take on Grenada every year, and we kind of have an idea of what they want to do. And they're very athletic. They do a lot of things right. But we emphasize the film study and the game planning, especially on the defensive side of the ball, throughout the week. And with whoever we play the first week, we're looking at them during the summer as well with film from last year and everything like that. So we had basically 3 weeks to prepare for Grenada, and that helped out a lot. And then, the second half of that game, we shut them out. Just made a couple of key mistakes in the first half, which led to scores. But I liked what I saw overall. So
let me ask you, coming into the season this year, knowing what you had coming back, were you kind of excited to get this season going?
Absolutely, yeah. We're very optimistic. Especially on defense, and with offense, as Nick mentioned, we have that Angel Zamora back, who just adds another threat, to an offense that's already returning quite a few starters. So we're looking ahead, trying to keep the big picture in mind, but, obviously you take, especially with football, you can only plan one, game at a time, 1 week at a time. So.
All right. So, let me ask you, what happened last night?
It just kind of threw us out of the groove. When your game gets moved, that's not an excuse for a loss, but it just, it affects players who are used to coming in at 5 and getting ready for a game at 7. Now you gotta, get a little more, hyped up 2 hours earlier. And the heat, does make a difference. It's probably, it's a significant difference in heat, between 5 and 7. But, what it ultimately came down to was, just both teams were, kind of, dogging after a while, and, a few key mistakes on our part and a few, big plays on their part, ends up being a one-score game.
You guys were up at half, right?
Yep, we were up 7-6 at half, and, we had one, they like to run the option, and we had one, missed read on the option that led to a score for them. We had a few chances to come back, but we just, couldn't convert on 4th down is what it came down to.
All right, next week, Sleepy Eye St. Mary's. How do you defend them?
Well, they're always a interesting opponent because they're kind of the old school smash mouth football. They've been a 1A perennial power for however many years. So them coming down to 9-man with their size, is a little bit of can be a shell shock for some of our guys. 9-man athletes for the most part, a little bit smaller and a little bit quicker. So the key to that is, again, just to attack, and that's the defense. That's the reason we run our defense, is because we've got small guys, we've got quick guys. We try to confuse the offense and, make them make decisions that they don't necessarily want to. So we'll come at them, like we've done the last 2 weeks. We'll slant, we'll blitz, we'll mix up the coverages.
Okay. Anything offensively you're going to do differently for that game that you know of?
No, we've got a very good offensive system that allows us to do a lot. We run, a dozen different formations and, a playbook that can, reach 100 different plays if we wanted to. So we've got
a big playbook.
Well, yeah, it's a system. So, everything, builds off of everything else. So it's, and the kids pick it up, very easily. It's not too complicated. But we just try to, out scheme our opponents. And that's what we've done, under Nick Willard for the last 3 years. So, nothing different.
Okay, all right. Is it okay working with your brother, though? Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys get along at all, or still?
Yep.
To this day?
Yep, still do. Hasn't fired me yet, so we're still good.
All right, Stephen, before I let you go here, I need a couple comments about Josh as well, too. Mm-hmm. Josh will be coming up here shortly. The offensive running back for you guys. What makes him a special player?
Again, I would, it's just his versatility. He's got a lot of athletic ability. We have a lot of kids on our team who have, just pure athletic ability. Josh is special because he, can take hits, but he will give hits more often than that.
Well, you got him on the he's middle linebacker too, right? So you have him on the defensive side as well.
He's kind of a true middle linebacker, fullback type. Defensively, he'll just run kids down, but offensively, he can pass block. That's a big thing for us. He can run very hard. He'll get the tough yardage, but he also has the ability to break out of the seam, and take it to the house if he gets the hole, in front of him. So, but again, he's versatile. He's very, very tough, and he will, do whatever you tell him to do. So, you can't ask for really anything more than that.
Okay, good point. All right, very good. How far can this team go?
Far as they want to go. We've told them that, it's not necessarily what our opponents do, it's what we do on the field. We have an amazing amount of athletic ability. Like Nick said, if we, keep our minds clear, we can do, what we did to Grenada, I think, against any team. And if we have kind of a mental block, we'll see what we saw last night, so it's just a matter of which team wants to show up, and if the right one shows up, we can go as far as we want.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You betcha. Steve Willard is D coach. Nick Kloros, our defensive player. Nick, what else do you do besides play football?
I played baseball.
Just the two sports?
Yeah.
What do you do in the winter then?
Lift.
Huh? Didn't play basketball or anything like that?
No.
Hockey?
No.
No? Nothing like that?
No.
Do you have a favorite of the two?
Football.
Football's your favorite?
Yeah.
Now, you're a junior. What else do you do besides athletics? You do any other stuff at all? School activities?
No.
Okay, so works for me. You got goals for this year? What are your goals? Do you have an individual goal?
I just want to better myself at the positions that I'm at so that during my senior year I can come out and just play as hard as I can.
Okay. Team goals? What were the team goals?
We're going to be highly disappointed if we're not competing in the conference championship this year.
Okay. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
You betcha. Nick Kloros and Steve Willard from Adelia, our Defensive Player of the Week. Player of the Week show continues. What we're going to do here, Amy, we're going to get the schedule of the day coming up next, and then we'll hear from our Offensive Player of the Week, Josh Sletta, as the Player of the Week show continues here in a moment. AM 860 FM 97.3 KNUJ.
The game's coming up next week. All right. There's your schedule. Player of the Week show continues here in a moment on KNU 860 AM KNUJ and 97.3 KNUJ FM. All right, Player of the Week show continues here on KNUJ. Let's meet our offensive football player of the week. He comes from Adelia, one of two from Adelia here today on the show. This will be our offensive football player. His name is Josh Sleda from Medelia. Josh, last week, Medelia, they had a 0-week game, and they picked up a nice win. Josh, I can't remember who'd you beat now. My mind's going on me here. Who'd you beat last week?
We beat our rivals, the Grenada Huntley East Chain Truman Jaguars.
Okay. And during that win, Josh had 122 yards rushing, plus he had a couple of touchdowns in that win. The Blackhawks were in action last night as well, and they came up short. They lose to Lanesboro by the final score of, 12-7 was that final score. Josh ended up with a little over 50 yards rushing as well, too, in that particular contest. So far on the season, just approximate 172 yards rushing in 2 games here for Josh Sleda. Josh, good morning. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. All right, let's go back. We won't talk this week. Let's go back to last week. Big win over rival Grenada Huntley East Chain Truman. How'd the team play in the first week of the season, in your opinion?
I thought the team played really hard. The practice was great. We worked hard. We executed everything we needed to do. We did come out a little slow in the first half, but then we for sure we picked it up. Our line was blocking great, and that's what really comes down to it. If you don't have good blocking by the linemen, you can't get any yards at all.
Josh, how was the practice leading up to that game last week? You kind of alluded to it, but go a little deeper. Did it go well for your opening training camp, so to speak?
Yes, that first practice that we had, for our first game, like that week of practice, it was a great practice. Like every day we kept bringing more intensity. Like Monday was good, Tuesday was even better, Wednesday was probably our best day, and then Thursday's like our pregame day. So we're just going over everything right before our game, and we're running plays, catching touchdowns, doing everything that we need to do to get ready. And I think it was a fun week of practice, and that's probably how we led to our win. Just we focused in practice, and that carried over to last Friday.
Describe the Blackhawks. Is this a veteran team this year, Josh?
Yes, this is a team that we've been building for the last couple of years now. Like a lot of the seniors this year, we've been starting or at least playing since we were sophomores. Then last year we have some juniors this year that started or played as sophomores, and we're just a whole bunch of group of guys that are just we're building. We built, and now we're veterans, and now we can go and we can kick some butt. So I'm super excited about this season.
Now, what'd you do in the off season to get ready for this upcoming year, Josh? You do anything special or anything like that?
I lift weights every single morning in our weight room. We have an Iron Club program that our head coach he runs. And I feel like that's another thing great about this year is we've had so many people in the weight room this off season that I love that. I love lifting weights. And I love that everybody else is starting to get into it as well.
Has it shown? Okay, go ahead.
Besides lifting weights too, this summer I went to a lot of college camps too this summer. So I learned some new skills. I improved on some old skills, and I basically played summer from when. Well, I basically played football from when football season ended up until the season started.
Okay, so now you're saying that since everybody was in the weight room, it showed, and it showed last week, didn't it?
Yes, it did, because our line they were pushing Truman's line. Our linebackers were hitting really hard. Our running backs were running. Our quarterback, had a great arm, his powerful arm, throwing the ball. Everything is great. A lot of, more explosiveness for sure. Those power cleans and those power squats, that really helps with explosiveness.
All right, Josh, now running back, right?
Yes.
Okay, anything on the defense?
I played middle linebacker.
Oh, you play a little linebacker too, huh? Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now what happened last night? Lanesboro, tell us, run through the game. What transpired?
Well, we started a little earlier than we normally did, so I feel like that, that kind of got in our heads a little bit, and we had the opening kickoff, so we played defense first. We actually, I thought we played defense pretty well, in the beginning. They weren't able to get anything. They start with an easy, punt, and then we're back on the offense. I feel like on offense we just didn't execute what we needed to do.
Okay. So did Lanesboro have something to do with that at all? I'm curious.
I feel like they were, their ends and their outside linebackers, they were pretty good hitters. Like, they knew how to hit you low and to get your feet to cut off your momentum.
Okay. All right. So now what'd you guys learn?
We learned that we have to come out strong every single play from the beginning, and we can't let up, especially a team that we are better than. We can't play at their intensity. Like, they were playing at a poor intensity, and instead of playing our game, we matched that poor intensity, and we got bit in the butt.
Okay. All right. All right. What's coming up next week?
Next week, we play Sleepy Eye St. Mary's in Sleepy Eye.
Ooh, big ball game for you, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And with what happened last night, I don't want that to ever happen again. I want to come out and I want to kick some butt next week.
Okay. Now, Josh, what else do you do? Do you do anything else besides football, or is this football your life?
I do a whole bunch of other stuff in football. Like I was saying, I lift weights every morning.
Yeah.
I also play basketball. I run track. I do triple jump, long jump, the 100 and the 200.
Oh, you're a sprinter. Okay.
I also do one-act play. I do the spring play at our school. I do speech as well. Actually, last year, it was my first year doing speech, and I did duos, and we ended up going to state.
Nice. How'd you do?
Pretty well. We were about in the middle at state. It was pretty fun. Like, I feel it was more like the experience, and it was awesome.
You going to do it again this year?
I'm going to try and do it again.
Okay. All right. You're a senior this year. You got goals. Does the Medelia Blackhawks have goals this year?
Yes, we do have some goals. We have, like I was saying, we want to come out, and we're that team that we built up, and now we are what we are, and we need to come out and, we need to take it all, really. We need to go back to state like we did in 2015.
Okay.
And that means we can't have any more games like last night. We have to come out. We have to come out stronger. If we want to make it state again, we have to play the game that we can play, and that's the only way that it's going to happen.
Okay. Very good. All right. Plans for college? Have you thought that yet or not?
Yes, I've looked at a couple different schools. I really want to play college football, so that's really when I'm looking at a school, I'm looking at what kind of program fits me the best. I really want to do exercise science or nutrition. I'm really into that kind of stuff. So when I'm looking at a college, I'm looking at what kind of programs they have for that, what kind of football program they have, just kind of like, and then like the atmosphere of the school. Like I feel like I want to go to a school where I feel at home, where I can feel like I belong there.
And what's on that list then? How many colleges are on that list?
There's about I have a list about a top 8.
Okay. What's on the top right now?
There's this one school. There's a couple schools that I'm really interested in. They're not really number one, but they're all kind of like number one. Like, it's just a whole bunch of schools that I really like.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Josh, sounds like you got it all figured out so far. That's good. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Good luck to you the rest of the way as well, too, Josh, all right?
Yeah, and thanks for letting me do the phone interview. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no worries, Josh. No worries at all. Josh Sletta, our offensive football player of the week from Medelia. Stay tuned. Player of the Week show continues here in a moment on KNUJ.